So welcome everyone to Football Coaching Academy episode number 11. It is Friday, the 9th of January. There you go, first fail of the day. Happy New Year, Jamie.
Happy New Year, mate. Yeah, it's feels like it's been a minute, to be honest, since we've done one of these. We've obviously come through the festive period. It's nice to get back into the swing of things and back into the normal routine, but the group's been lively, still lots of people hanging around in the community. And good to get back to review the Christmas period and see what we've been up to.
Yeah, and you won't be surprised to know that we've got a packed agenda again today. So I just thought we'd start by looking back. So I've got some nice statistics, because who doesn't love statistics, Jamie? So,
Love a stat.
Yeah, so I've got a little count here, and I'll put caveats on each one of these lines, but the number of threads that were started in the Football Coaching Academy in 2025 was 868. And considering the first half of the year was quite quiet compared to the second half of the year, that's staggering. And especially when you compare it to the number of comments, 9,500 comments in 2025 in total, which is an average of 13.85 per thread. And when you put it like that, just wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Brian's being the police on the threads recently as well, because he's stopping us creating new threads. And quite rightly, I think it's become... what I've noticed over the last few weeks is there's definitely a theme of threads, and I can't remember the member that mentioned it, but you can set notifications for different threads. So I think that's really sensible, where the community can be almost manipulated by yourself to be what you want it to be, and to catch up on what you want to catch up on. But yeah, the sheer volume there is incredible, even despite Brian's best efforts.
Brian, the thread police. Just that looks like an average of 2+ threads every single day in 2025. That's pretty impressive. But this is the most impressive thing for me. In January 2025, there were 627 members in the Football Coaching Academy. By this stage, January 2026, there are 1,624 members in the Football Coaching Academy. Again, another absolutely fantastic stat. To get almost 1,000 member increase is crazy in the space of a year.
Yeah, and lots of different people from different backgrounds, right? There's a real variety of coach and football fan within the community, and long may it continue. Let's hope we've doubled that again next year.
Yeah, 100%. And this week, we're going to do this every week. This is going to be a regular feature. So 23 threads started. So Brian, your policing activities are not quite there yet. And there's been 149 comments. And that's only an average of 6 comments, that should say, per thread, which is lower. But we have had the festive period, and it has been a quiet period for a lot of people. But just putting that stat into context, the number of comments of just over a year is almost 10,000. And that's 10,000 comments, mostly of coaches helping other coaches, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a bit of a compounding effect on posts per thread as well, because they evolve over the year. So some of the ones posted in July still get commented on now, so that will naturally build over time and mature. So yeah, no, absolutely. Some fantastic stats there, and great to see that there's lots of engagement happening.
Yeah, Jamie, and I maybe should have started here, but I thought it'd be useful just... So why are we here? What is the Football Coaching Academy, rather? Why do we exist? And for me, it's to stop coaches feeling lost. And we pretty much do that in 5 steps. So I'm just going to quickly cover this. For me, this is what it is. Jamie, feel free to jump in and add anything that you can. But basically, you as a coach have a football problem. You have some sort of problem that you need fixed, whether you recognize you have a problem at this stage or not. There's something maybe in the back of your mind or the front of your mind, and it's related to football and football coaching. And you maybe find us in different ways, whether it's X, YouTube, different social media channels. You may just get recommended the Football Coaching Academy. And as soon as you hear about us and what we do and link it to your problem, you think that you might join. So you come to the About page, you read the blurb, you have a look at it, and you join. And then you sign up and you become a member. And there's over 1,600 members in the Football Coaching Academy from across the world. And you've already said it, Jamie, different experiences, different levels, and different backgrounds. So there's a real mix there. And for me, you just start. You just come in, you just start here. Where it says start here, you go into this post, you say hi, you click the coaching roadmap, and you get access to fix your problems in 8 steps to help you stop feeling so lost. And if you help other coaches in the meantime by leaving comments, saying hi, being helpful, we'll give you $50 for doing so. So for me, in a nutshell, Jamie, this is what we do. Even if you just come in for a week, this is what we do. We can help you stop feeling lost for that week. We can help you stop feeling lost for the duration that you remember, in my opinion. What do you think?
No, beautifully covered, mate. That's exactly what we're setting out to do. And I think what the community really does well is that as much as a coach, you're involved in team environments, and you've got groups of players. It's a lonely role sometimes, being a coach or being a manager, and you can be very much siloed in your own thinking process. You haven't got a lot of people to bounce that off and validate how you're feeling or challenge how you're feeling. And I think our community is a great balance of, if you have got a football problem, or if you just want some validation or some community feel to make sense of your own siloed thoughts. I think this does that brilliantly, and through those steps that you're talking about as well, I think. So yeah, no, perfectly put, mate.
Thanks. And you know what? I'm often replying to Twitter DMs these days saying, I can give you advice, but if you jump onto Football Coaching Academy, you will get lots of different opinions, pieces of advice, and expert knowledge from people working at different levels. Because I might have worked at a different level or a different environment to the person asking the question. But I guarantee there's someone in the Football Coaching Academy that's worked at your level in a similar environment and can help you. We've seen that time and time again.
Do you know, just
And
like
that is the
the
power.
sorry, mate.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just like the post you posted this morning. I don't know what day this will go out, but this morning there was a post on how do you manage losses, right? Which again is a very individual, siloed thought process for a manager or coach. And the amount of different responses in there, I think there's a general consensus of how people deal with things, but just to get other people's opinions on that is so empowering, because we've all been there on a Saturday or a Sunday night where you're really struggling. You perhaps feel like you've embarrassed yourself a little bit in the dressing room because you've reacted, or you've become too emotional, or maybe you didn't react in a certain way that you wanted to. You've then chopped up training that week because you're reacting to a game, and just that conversation around all those different elements of a very specific part of coaching, I think brings this to life beautifully, because you're going to learn something. And we're on a roll, and I'm sort of like very much keeping track of how long we've had this community open where we've seen no negative comments, and we're still at 0 negative comments in the community, right? Nobody has made anyone feel small, stupid, or undervalued, or like they're in the wrong. It's a very positive, let's help each other environment, and we're still at 0 negative comments. And yes, it's a brilliant sounding board.
Yeah, and for me, that's why we're here, to stop coaches feeling lost. And by belittling coaches and making them feel small, we're not going to achieve that. So I'm really glad that you're keeping track of that. And as soon as we see something negative or something that's not in line with the rules, we really clamp down on it quickly. So, Jamie, again, the agenda's changed for 2026. I've been thinking about the agenda over the break, and I'm thinking we should celebrate wins a bit more. We should celebrate achievements. We should look at our members and we should say, well done, because coaching's hard and it can be lonely and it can be difficult. You've just covered that. It can be negative, but we want to keep it positive. So the second agenda item will be wins of the week. And we'll usually just pick one thread to go through, but today I've picked 2 because I think they're equally as good. And, ran out of memory. Let me just refresh that. I know how this computer feels. So I started this thread. It's 13 days ago. I'm cheating a little bit because we're supposed to cover the last week. But, 137 comments celebrating wins. And I'm not going to go through each one. There are several different types of wins in here. But I think it's important to celebrate those. And, you also started a thread with the 2026 coaching resolutions. Revolution would be good, but resolutions. And I think this thread, 70 comments on it, but people have come up with resolutions and what they want to achieve in the next 12 months in different ways, different manners, some personal, some coaching. And it's really, really positive. And you've already touched on this. The power of that positivity and the power of the win just compounds and helps coaches out, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. I mean, to start with on the coaching wins, I mean, sometimes you can feel a little bit shy to even post your wins sometimes because you don't want to feel like you're bragging, or you probably feel a little bit vulnerable doing it because it might not feel on the level of other people in the community. But we want to see that, and no win is too small, and wins can be very specific to you and personal to you as well. And again, it just gives confidence to the rest of the members and gives context to their journeys as well. And I absolutely love that thread, and it's something we want to celebrate a lot. And
yeah, sorry, mate. I've just picked out a few here, just from the both threads, and they're really, really positive. I'm going back to what you said again, but really, really positive stuff, and it's really good to read, isn't it?
100%, yeah. And it doesn't necessarily have to be really specific. I know Nick put in there about achieving his first 5K or something along those lines. PB on his 5K, and it's all, like I say, very personal to you and what you want to achieve as a person that year. And I tend to think with resolutions as well, like we're all in corporate, or we're in work environments where you get asked to set objectives at the start of the year. And again, how do you think about those sort of things? They need to be fluid. I mean, you might feel differently in 6 months' time as you do now, but it's just nice to commit something to paper to get your thought processes aligned. And that probably adds a little bit of drive into going to achieve those things as well. So, really good reset in that sense, and some fantastic wins to see.
Yeah, I'll just pick some of these out. Stephen, I like this, more skillful neglect, just focusing on one thing instead of everything. I have talked about that in the past. It's easy to get drowned or be drowned or feel drowning in the noise of coaching. Everyone's got a different opinion about how you should do stuff. And, Brian is committed to posting a session plan every week, which, again, fantastic. If you can keep that up, Brian, please do. Jamie and I do it, a third person doing it, even a fourth, fifth, sixth person doing it would be fantastic. And I'm really proud of this one because Ross has been in the community for a while, and having followed his journey, and I'm sure you have as well, Jamie, it's great to see Ross and his team moving on to being hard to beat at 9-a-side. And that's the objective, to get better every week and to keep the kids happy and keep them in football. Fantastic. And there's 128 more wins in that coaching thread if you want to go and read them. So that I just thought I'd pick out wins of the week. Also, similarly, post of the week, I started a post, how do you handle sideline coach parents? It's a subject that fascinates me, working with parents, and every coach has had to deal with that. And we got 46 different comments of how to deal with parents in different ways. And this was another fascinating thread for me. Lots of different opinions here. Did you give an opinion?
I don't think I did. I might have done. I don't know. I think I commented on.
Can I put you on the spot? What's your opinion?
How do you handle all the sideline coach? I think very much the trend of the thread with, like, the expectations have to be set. I think that's extremely important and can be tough if you're a volunteer. You're one of the mums or dads that's had to volunteer halfway through a season because the coach has left. It's hard, again, to then reset or have the confidence to do that in a public space where you're talking to a large group. A lot of people don't find it very easy to talk to a large group or to have the confidence to set expectations. But I think expectations are, and be really clear on your expectations from the start. And I think if you do see it happening in the moment, to try and deal with that in a relatively private manner where you're not calling people out in front of a crowd, because they will become extremely defensive very quickly. And to think about maybe the why of their coaching. I think you said it, Kevin. They only really want what's best for their child, right? And there's a good core element to why they're doing what they're doing. I think you just need to be really clear in the sense of why it's important that coaching comes from you as the professional or the person as a position of authority, and you have your own development ideas and models and things that you're working to. But generally, parents are very, very good if you've set those expectations and they're very clear on what's coming up for their child. Yeah,
that's brilliant advice, Jamie. I'm going to pull that out as a clip probably because I think you've summarised that perfectly. And what I'm going to do every week, Jamie, or what we're going to do every week rather, is just pick a post or a thread. I'm mixing thread, comment, and post here, but pick a whole thread out, and I'm just going to summarise it, and hopefully in bite-sized chunks, everyone can get an understanding of how to deal with this. And you've already mentioned it. Brian said this as well. Set expectations early. Come up with an agreement. I've called it the player's pledge. Jess has called it the family supporter agreement. Adrian, when he's addressing his players, he waits for parents to drift over. Then he addresses his players and emphasises what they've been working on in training publicly, so everybody can hear that and it's clear. That's a fantastic one. Parent workshops. Stephen said he ran workshops so parents can see behind the curtains. Curtin, I cannot speak today, apologies folks. And Ross basically will call out in a polite manner anyone who tries to coach from the sidelines. And even got a book recommendation from Jess here, The Sports Parent Solution, and I'm picking out a key quote every week as well. And it's great advice this from Jess. Ignoring it doesn't work. You've got to engage parents. It's the third point in the teaching triangle. And Jess has pulled that quote from the book, which I think is a good quote, engaging them early and not ignoring the problem. So hopefully this new agenda item is helpful, just for summarising my post of the week. Jamie, you can pick the next one. Next agenda item, moving on very swiftly, and it is basically just welcoming new members, something I think we've been neglectful of in the past, Jamie. And we've got quite a few new members who've joined this week. We've got Kenneth, Nikki, Chris, Martin, Sandro, Lorne, David, Andrew, Gramwald, Juhani, Ben, Chris, Rich, and Per. And we've got a couple of new VIP members out of that in David and Per. So welcome, everybody. It's great to have you on board. I would emphasise saying hello in the welcome thread, asking for help, engaging, doing the coaching roadmap and everything that we basically talked about in the why do we exist part of the call. Jimmy, you want to say hello to everyone?
Yeah, welcome everybody. I'll just echo those thoughts of just introduce yourself. We by no means hold anybody to commenting or engaging on Ross and Brian level, psychopathic style levels. But we definitely would like people to drop in and just say hello. I've said that because Ross is on the call, so trying to trigger him slightly.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. We definitely introduce yourself. We've got members that maybe pop in one day a week and they probably just check the community one day a week. But your engagement really helps us, is the point, and we learn from you as well, and other members will benefit from your experience in. And just to say again, it's a 100% positive environment, and we settle for no less than that. There's going to be no belittling of anybody or anybody feeling like their efforts aren't good enough or their comments aren't good enough. Everybody will be extremely positive, so I'd encourage you to do so.
Positivity is the word of the day, or positive. I think that's something that we should continue to emphasize, because it needs to be positive in order for others to get help, but also it needs to be inclusive. It's a community. Commenting is part of it. You've already said it. Reading is fine. Lurking is fine. But the value is when more people contribute, because the pool of advice gets wider and gets deeper as well, in my opinion. So welcome, everybody. What's new and what's coming? So there's a couple of things new. Oh, sorry. Before I move on, I'm going to show you the map again. I've already showed you it a little bit.
Are these all the places you docked over Christmas?
Yeah, these are all the places in the world I've been visiting coaches. That's my dream, but it's not really what happened. These are all our members and where they live, Jamie, or where they're from. And obviously, there's a privacy option in school, so you can turn this off, so you don't actually need to share your location at all. But for those that have shared their location, it's a fantastic spread, and it just emphasises what we've both said, Jamie. There's a wide spread of members here from different backgrounds, different environments, different countries, different experiences, and it's great to see that visually on the map, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I struggle to digest this sometimes in a way that makes sense to me, because it's such a vast spread of different cultures and different upbringings and different experiences in the game and how we think about it, and little things resonate, like. I know Ross in particular I forget the chap's name, but he was Italian and posting some posts recently in the community and sharing some videos. And through the gift that is Google Translate now, we can talk to people in Italian and reply in different languages. And just a really, really nice community feel on a global level.
Yeah, and do you know what's fascinating is the different languages and the different cultures, and even around Africa, where school is banned in some places of Africa, we're still getting members coming in and contributing as well. So it's fantastic to see. So there's no barrier, whether it's language, location, firewall issues, banned in certain countries. there is no barrier to getting coaching help and coaching knowledge. So fantastic to see.
You're doing very well in Russia. Maybe we need to.
Well, yeah, I won't click on it because I'll show the name. But yes, we need to learn some Russian. You're right. Moving on. So what's coming and what's new and what's coming? So the bonus for January in the VIP member section for VIP members was a copy of my book. And for our premium members, you released your Introduction to Positional Play course. Jamie, you want to talk through that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just mention. Sorry, my dog's going to start whining in the background. Yeah, firstly, the book. I've read. I've not read it all yet, but I'm working my way through it amongst the 6 or 7 books I've got on the go at the moment. But it's fantastic, and it's a really well written book, Kevin. I won't embarrass you by giving you too much praise, but it's a really well written book. Which I know you love it. Keep them coming. But it's a really well written book, which does because football coaching books can become very textbooky and become very factual, and everybody loves a bit of fiction, and sometimes fiction's the easiest way to digest things. I'm a history fan myself, but I struggle to read history books in the textbook sense, and historical fiction is a lot easier for me to digest. So this is an extremely good book. So congratulations on releasing that, and it's a great boon for everybody.
I'll be honest, Jamie, it was difficult to read because it is a bit of fiction tied in with lessons that I've learned as a football coach, and trying to conceptualize that, unravel it in my brain and write it has been difficult. I have started part 2. So part 1 is just the theory about, why football coaches are the way they are, and it shines a light on football coaching. Part 2 is the help, and it's trying to weave in all of, the game model stuff and all of the courses and the coach education that we provide in the Football Coaching Academy. And trying to weave that into a story is becoming problematic. So I regret it now. But I will get there.
You'll solve it, mate, I'm sure, on 2 hours sleep a night. You've got plenty of hours to get it
Yeah. And I look like about 2 hours sleep as well. Let's move on to the positional play course, because I've had a look at this. It really is a fascinating piece of work. It reminds me of, and I don't want to say this out of turn or anything like that, but it reminds me of Peter Prickett's work. It's easily digestible and it's common sense. And that is a massive compliment, mate, if you didn't realise that.
Well, thank you. I wrote this book a while ago, and having looked at it recently, I've rewritten some parts because I wasn't completely happy with the first edition. But I've put this into the premium membership, and there's going to be a few phases to this. So what I've tried to do is, because positional play gets banded around as a term that's associated with Pep Guardiola and Jordi Cruyff and Rinus Michels and that sort of lineage, but very few people actually understand what it is. And I think, again, to then try and apply that in a practical terms that makes sense from a training perspective and a coaching perspective is, again, quite difficult. But just try to break it down into its basic forms of creating overloads and manipulating space, and then looking at some of the challenges with it as well. Of it can become quite predictable, for example, and it can be quite easily read if not done. If not coached properly. So, like I say, I'm going to work through 3 phases of this. The text is the first point. The second point is I'm going to add maybe a 5 to 10 minute video into each one of these chapters where I just talk about it and give my thoughts on the text that's in there. And then the third part is I'm going to add a couple of chapters in and link some positional play exercises in on into the drill library of like what would a coaching session look like through the positional play lens, and what problems and principles would that empower, or what problems would it solve and what principles would it empower. So that's the plan with it, and I'll keep everyone updated as to how quickly I can get that done.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's, you get school on your mobile phone these days through the app or through the website. It's just something you can open and read very, very easily. That's what I did on holiday. So well done, mate. Really, really good. A few other things that are coming. Masterclass with Paul Spacey today at 4 p.m. That's going to be interesting. So that's going to be more of a discussion rather than him presenting or us asking him questions. It's going to be a bit of a back and forth between the 3 of us and anyone else who wants to join in at 4 p.m. That's GMT. Paul is very vocal on social media about certain aspects, but we're going to just focus it down to the differences between UK football and US football, pay-to-play model, development models, promotion, relegation, things like that. because I've learned a lot about this over the last 6 months, say, Jamie, but there's still a lot to learn. So hopefully Paul can help us do that in a nice roundtable discussion way.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew nothing about the American football system until I joined this group, and it's been a bit of an eye opener for me, to be honest, in terms to learn about that and how different it is. So yeah, really looking forward to that call. And like you say, Paul never disappoints in terms of his presentation, how he shows up. So I think that'll be a good call.
Yeah, before we move on, I'm doing a little presentation. It'll be completely open. It'll be probably a YouTube live or something easy to access on Wednesday. It'll just be probably 45 minutes to an hour, depending on questions and things like that. But AI is coming, right? It's transforming and revolutionizing so many industries. And I've obviously built Football GPT, so I don't gatekeep knowledge, I give it away. So I'm going to do a presentation about how I built it, how it applies to coaches, and basically how you could use it or any AI tool to your advantage as a coach, because it's an assistant, it's a tool in the toolbox, but you have to understand it. So hopefully by the end of this presentation you will, and I'm just going to do it based on a tool I built because I know that better than any other AI tool. So that's Wednesday. If you can make it along, please do. You coming, Jamie?
I think so. Yeah, Wednesday. I check Wednesday nights, but I definitely want to be there because I'm really interested in the subject. Like you say, AI is something that is growing rapidly and will shape your future, whether you like it or not. And that's just the way of the world now. It's very much like the internet boom, tech boom. It's the latest evolution of that. So I think it's on us to understand how we best use it, not just as a coaching community, but as an individual. Like, how do we use AI to empower us and to make decision making easier, to cut through complexity and cut through the noise? And your program there looks like it does exactly that. So yeah, really interested to see that.
Yeah, and I know other coaches will be training and whatnot. So the Paul Spacey one's going to be recorded and made available in the community. And this one, How I Built Football GPT, will be available on YouTube or however I decide to present it. So no need to worry if you missed those. And we have a few other calls coming up. I still need to nail a date with Doug. Doug is extremely busy. We've got part 2 of John Pascarella's presentation on tactical periodization. Got to nail a date with John, Craig as well, and I think I'm catching up with Todd on Monday to try and arrange a date for him to come and present to us. So a really exciting lineup.
You're on mute, Kev, if you can hear me. But yeah, really exciting lineup. Some huge names there. Some absolutely star-studded names in the coaching world to come in the next few weeks, which is very exciting for us. Kevin, you've gone on mute, mate, and your camera's gone off if you can hear us.
Can you hear me now? I don't know why I've gone on mute, and I don't know why my camera's disappeared. Can you hear me now? Am I back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're back.
The curse of the live call, Jamie. How much did you hear? Nothing?
Yeah, no, all of it. Yeah, no, we heard it all. I was just saying that that's an incredibly star-studded lineup, and I think now we're 6 months into this, we can sometimes take incredible guests for granted a little bit. You sort of don't have the impact, because they do have the impact, but the star-struck effect probably doesn't happen as much. But when you think about those names there, incredible names, and to get the opportunity to speak to those guys is an absolute privilege.
Yeah, so we'll put the dates and the times in the calendar as soon as we get them. And lastly, I see, is Ross still on the call? Is Brian on the call? His AI agent must be going off now. We're going to talk about the leaderboard. Let me refresh it. So Ross is back on top. You can leave the call now, Ross, if you're still on it. That's all he joined for. But yes, another fantastic week of engagement. One thing I've noticed, people have started to change their profile pictures, and I've just gotten used to them. So well done on that. But yeah, so we've talked about, posts of the week, threads of the week, things like that already. There's been a lot of good, helpful engagement this week, hasn't there, Jamie?
He has, yeah. I know Stephen's got a very smart new profile picture. I was a little bit disappointed he didn't go with the Scarlet Pimpernel one that we did for him before Christmas. But there's lots and lots of engagement over what we thought would be a quieter period at Christmas. But there was still lots and lots of engagement in the community, which was great. And I think when we listen to the separate school news, and they talk about having 10 regulars, and I think we're at that now where we've got 10 real regulars and maybe a periphery of, I don't know, 20 to 30 more maybe as well. So it does feel like a real community now with everybody knowing each other.
Yeah, exactly. And just thank you, everybody, as usual, because the Football Coaching Academy doesn't exist without engagement and interaction and coaches helping coaches. So, it's easy for Jamie and I to jump on and message because we own the community, but the other people that do so, we know how busy everyone's lives are, and we know that you may just want your problems fixed and solved, but it's great that we've got so many, as you say, Jamie, other members helping members. So it's a great thing, in my opinion.
And we've got a third
Jamie, that's us.
as well.
On you go. Sorry.
So we've got a third fire emoji now as well, haven't we? Adrian Culmican's got a fire emoji now as well.
Oh, wow, I missed that. Well done, Adrian. Well done. Good spot, Jamie. Like that. Got 3 of us now. 5 of us, rather. 5.
Good. Great. All right. Stuff. Well, good to be back. Good to be back
yes.
At it again, back in the routine. Thanks, everybody, for your contributions over Christmas, and look forward to catching up with everybody separately.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.